Fellow simmers, and welcome to my channel. I am a feral simmer, and today I would like to introduce you to my Stupidhood. What is the Stupidhood, you may ask? Well, it is a combination of Pleasantview, Strangetown, Veronaville, and Belladonna Cove. There are over 200 playables in this neighborhood, and I have approximately 63 different households, not including college. So it is been a project of mine for a couple years now. I am now entering my 14th round. So each round is 4 days, 4 sim days, except for the first round, which was 5 sim days. So it averages out to be 56 total sim days that I have played this entire megahood. Now, I personally love to watch people's videos where they've progressed very far, and I enjoy watching the stories and the legacies that their Sims make. So today I wanted to show off mine. So in order to try and keep this video as short as possible, I do just want to do some brief overviews of my current household so we can see where we are at in the Pleasantview Stupidhood storyline. So this is the Lothario family here, and here's Cassandra and some of her children. And I'll go ahead and read the description. Even though Don hurt Cassandra long ago, the family they had will always be the best thing in her life. Will the oldest Cornelius fill up this home with little ones the same way, or will the young couple have a less than traditional life? And here they are. So here we are at the Lothario house. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this house. I did change it to more suit Cassandra's, her tastes. I did kind of play it as Mortimer bought this house for Cassandra because I did want Alexander to take over the original goth house. But yeah, this is the house that I moved Cassandra and Don into after they got married. Don no longer lives here, and actually he has recently passed away, but he did have his own place because Cassandra is now Cassandra Goth, and we'll go over and see her. So here we have Cassandra Goth. She has never gotten remarried after her and Don got divorced. They actually got divorced around the time that they both became elders. Cassandra actually caught him cheating on her with Dina Caliente, who is technically her mother-in-law, so that was just a deal breaker. She was definitely going to break up with Don. And they do have 5 children. In total, 2 of them are here right now, but we'll go ahead and bring up Cassandra's family tree. Her oldest, Cornelius, who is in fact named after Mortimer's mother, is the oldest, and he is here. We also have Heath Lothario, we have Adriana Goth, Victoria Lothario, and Nicolo Lothario. So we'll go ahead and see them in a minute, but I just wanted to show off Cassandra. She's still the same. I do have the traits mod, so we'll see her traits. She is a retired top researcher, and as you can tell, she is a witch, and that is because she is a supernatural fan. So that is one of her traits. She is also unstable, brooding, socially awkward, and artistic. And then she does have a secondary aspiration, which is knowledge, which is also why I thought it was fine that she would become a witch. This happened about the time she had her twins. So this is not like a recent development. She's been a witch for quite a while. I did think about having her like do it as a revenge thing against Donna after they broke up, but I decided against it, I guess. But for the most part, Cassandra, even though her heart was broken from Don, she's had a very happy life. She loves all of her children, and she's very excited that she is now a grandmother. However, she is 1 day away from passing away, or today. So I really wanted to get this video going because I have a couple of these Sims, and I feel like if I was going to do a Let's Play, I would like to show which families come from who, and that's easiest when I still have some of the original Sims. So here we have Cornelius Lothario. He is, in fact, the oldest of the Cassandra Don children, and he is the one that will inherit this house. I do have a little bit of a, like, gameplay of like making legacy houses, but that's something that I will get into at a later time. But he is the one that's eventually going to take over this house. So yeah, he will be the one that takes over this house, but he is somebody that he is a popularity sim. I kind of just see him as like the really rich guy that everybody likes, but like also kind of wants to hate. He is a SWAT team leader. He is a Pisces. He got Don's sloppiness, but he's outgoing, active, and very, very nice. We'll go ahead. I believe he has a secondary. Yes, he is a secondary fortune sim, so he does seem like he is the right fit to take over the Lothario estate. He has a couple traits. He's charismatic, he's lucky, he's friendly, he is artistic, and he is a natural born performer. So those are his traits. Basically, his story so far is that, you know, he's just been having a great life. This obviously was a complete surprise. Little Luna here, this was an alien abduction, maybe. And she just became a toddler, so we finally get to see what she looks like. But for the most part, he had a normal life, and then one day he just got abducted and had a child. At least that's how he sees it. But the story's a little bit different for his wife over here that I will show. So here we have Brielle Lothario, who is also formerly Brielle Cleveland. We'll get a good look at her here. So Brielle here is in fact a fortune sim. So I wouldn't say she is as intense as Dina, but I definitely see her as a little bit of a gold digger. She's kind of lazy. She hasn't had a job, even though she's 27 days away from becoming an elder. And my adult span is actually 43 days. She does want to get a job in the law career, and she has been writing some books, but for the most part, she is here for a free ride and a good time. So we'll go ahead and look at her personality. She is a Gemini. She is very outgoing and active. She's more serious and a little bit grouchy. Like I said, she does not have a job, but she does have a secondary aspiration, which she is a popularity. So status really matters to her. And we'll go ahead and see her traits. She is mean-spirited, a vegetarian, a perfectionist, flirty, and she is a snob. But I want to go ahead and look over at her family tree so you guys can see her parents. Yeah, she is the daughter of Marissa Cleveland and Jason Cleveland. She does have her brother Justin. So far, she only has one daughter. That is Penelope, and basically, Brielle got pregnant with Penelope before her and Cornelius got married. I think she really just wanted to make sure that they ended up together. They have been together. They have fabulous chemistry. They've been together since they were teenagers, but Brielle always knew what she was about, and I think that she kind of got it from her mother, because her mother came from a rich family, and they ended up being more middle class, so she wanted more for her daughter. And then we'll go ahead and see the other, one of Cassandra's other children that is here right now. Cassandra here with her new husband, Mitch. They just got married, in fact, or they're about to get married. He just moved in, so I was planning on having them get married, but unfortunately, I think Cassandra's going to pass away, so I'd rather not have to worry about that. They did actually just get here from college, but she does have a job, so she's been here for a little bit longer. She is a fact checker. She is a Capricorn. She's neat, very shy, very lazy. She's playful and she's pretty nice. She is a family sim. I see her being very much like Cassandra. She actually changed her name back to Goth when her mother and father broke up. She took it pretty hard, and she definitely feels like she is more of a Goth than she is a Lothario. However, she does have a twin sister who is more like her father. So we'll go ahead and see. She does have her secondary, which is a knowledge sim. So she is almost exactly like Cassandra. So I don't know if I'll turn her into a witch. We'll have to see about that. Maybe she can inherit her mother's, her spell book and her cauldron. But we'll have to see. I do plan on having her and Mitch move out. Because I see them having way more kids, because they are both actually family sims, but they love each other. They met in college. Adriana is actually bisexual. She had a girlfriend for a long time, but they were they did go to college together, and so they lost the relationship and just never rekindled it, which is fine. She met Mitch. They have very good chemistry, and we'll go ahead and see his things right here. So he did just move in. He's 43 days away from becoming an elder. He wants to get married, and he wants to get a job in the music career. Like I said, he doesn't have a job. I haven't done much with him. He just moved in. He is from one of the college towns. I forget which one, but he's one of the families. Did I give you a secondary? I did not. So I'll have to look at his secondary. I do think that I haven't even given him traits. So he is just newly getting fleshed out. He's basically a townie that I added in, but they have good chemistry, and I want them to go out, have as many kids as they want, and not have to worry about being in here with her brother and whatnot, even though they all have good relationships. And then we'll go ahead and meet Penelope here. So here we have Penelope Lothario. She is the oldest child of Cornelius and Brielle's only child. She is a pretty normal girl. She's pretty privileged. She is in private school. Generally, all of my rich families, my legacy families, all their kids go to private school. For the most part, she hasn't had too much going on. Oh, learn that about Luna. Little Brie, here, I want to show her. So here she is. She actually looks very much like her mother. She's, like I said, recently become a child. This is actually her first day of school, but she is a Pisces. So she's very outgoing, active, and nice. She's very similar to her father. She will probably end up becoming either a fortune or a popularity sim. But yeah, we will see her grow up when we get to the Let's Play, but let's go ahead and see her sister. So here we have Luna. She is not actually doing very well because her grandfather just died. She did just become a toddler. Oh gosh. When she's not crying, she's actually super cute. But yeah, she is a child of alien abduction. I do have the a couple of mods that give me some new PTs for alien abduction, and this one does not have any. I don't think I've ever had any repetitions, but for the most part, we're just getting to know little Luna. She's probably going to be wondering why everyone treats her so differently. I do have quite a bit of alien sims, so she will have some good company, but for the most part, between this story, I feel like these girls are just going to grow up to be pretty spoiled. I will say Brielle is probably going to have a lot of favoritism towards little Penelope because that's her child, and Cornelius is obviously the only parent of Luna here. I'm sure that Luna will be just fine, but I wonder if that may create some resentment between the two sisters later in life, but I guess we'll have to see. So yeah, this is the end of the Goth and / Lothario family here. They will probably be the first household that I play, so they were definitely the ones I wanted to cover first. Looks like they will start their day here in a minute. But yeah, we'll go ahead and see the other Goths in the neighborhood. So here we are back in the neighborhood, and I figure we will go down to the original Goth house here with Alexander and Lucy. I'll go ahead and read their description. A new Goth generation has begun. Can Alexander carry on the hefty Goth legacy, and will his newly returned mother complicate that matter? So obviously Bella does not live here anymore. She lives in her own place. She did live here for a while. Alexander's children were young. There is actually still... He has one other daughter who is currently in college, which we will see at the end of the introductions. So here we are at the Goth house, and yes, this is the Goth house. I have not replaced it, at least not yet. I do plan on changing it eventually, but I guess I've just been too lazy. I have made the house work for the most part. I actually do find I have decorated it very well to the Goth taste. We'll go ahead and see that in a second. But yeah, we have Alexander living here with his wife Lucy and 2 of their 3 children. So here we have Alexander and Lucy, and actually Samara is here as well. Alexander and Lucy have been together since they were teenagers. They've definitely fell in love immediately. I tried not to put like the obvious couples together, but that didn't work out. ACR had other plans, but I find it sweet that Lucy and Alexander always managed to get together. This has been a very happy family. They do have a third child. Her name is Ivy. Like I said, she is at college, so there's also Samara, and we have little Edward Goth. For the most part, Alexander, he is a fortune sim. He has taken his duty as the heir of the very notorious Goths quite literally. I have him in kind of a rich outfit. He's probably due for a new outfit. He is getting up there in age. He's going to be an elder in 10 days. He is a dinosaur cloner, and it looks like he will get to the top of the natural scientist career. I mainly chose this for him because I don't think I've ever had it for him. He is still a Cancer, so he's pretty straight down the path, but he's more outgoing and playful. Let's see, what's your secondary? His secondary is family. So yeah, at the beginning of the relationship or in college, Alexander had very good chemistry with a lot of other Sims. He has two now with Lucy, but he used to have only one, so I wasn't sure if they were going to stay together. And he has quite a few people where he has 3 bolts. So I was going to play it out to see if anything happened, but Lucy and Alexander have been loyal together for their entire lives. Lucy over here, she's still a family sim, so she was mainly focused on having kids. I do want to look at Alexander's traits. So he is brave, he's flirty, he's a gatherer, he's a light sleeper, and he's brooding. I like to give this to all my goths. I said, yeah, he is a secondary family sim. So yeah, for the most part, other than in college, him and Lucy have had a really great life. Obviously, there was a little bit of drama when Bella came back. She came back long after Mortimer had passed. We will see her in a minute, but she did help Alexander a lot and Lucy a lot and help take care of their kids. But she ended up having a kid of her own, so she decided to get her own place. Lucy here is still a family sim. She does fear having a child, but she's 15 days from becoming an elder, so I get it. She decided to actually go into the medicine career, but she does take writing pretty seriously. I don't know if she will actually progress in this career, but we will see. She's also a Cancer, but she's not as outgoing. She's a little bit more neat and playful. She is a secondary... see, you are a secondary knowledge sim. So yeah, I think she, even though she's wearing yellow and fairly bright, Lucy fits into the goth house very, very well. But she is family oriented, nurturing, eccentric, cowardly, and excitable. So yeah, I think as soon as I think Ivy's going to move back in here after college because I see Ivy taking over this house, but we will see. Yeah, but for the most part, I think Lucy's done having kids. She's just going to focus on her career and her writing and raising her current kids. And we'll go ahead and see the oldest of the ones that are here. So here is Edward. He's just gathering bugs. I think his hobby is nature. So yeah, he likes to go out and hunt bugs right next to the old goth cemetery. They all moved. He's actually going to be a teenager today, so that's going to be exciting. I did want to give him the little goth glasses. I think they look super cute on him. Let's see. His personality is he is a Taurus. So he's very playful and outgoing, but for the most part, he's kind of middle of the way for all the other parts of the personality, so that's fine. I'm pretty sure I'll make him a family sim, so he'll be super cute. I don't know if he has any friends. He doesn't have any friends, but he does have some cousins that he'll invite over for his birthday. I do love having birthday parties with all the other family members. It makes it feel like when I used to have birthday parties when I was younger and I would have all my cousins over and whatnot. So, but yeah, this is this little family. So yeah, that's about it when it comes to the goth house. They have a pretty low-key life. There was a little bit of drama involved between Lucy and Alexander in the beginning, but for the most part, they've had a very happy life together. No infidelity, just had their kids, you know, really love their family. And Alexander, like I said, he's very serious about carrying on the goth legacy and all of their privileges that they have in the neighborhood. And I guess we will play them. They're usually the second ones in the rotation, but we'll come back and see them. So just kitty corner of the Goth mansion is actually the second Goth house over here. This is actually where Dina moved after Mortimer passed, and she wanted to kind of have her own space, and that way Alexander could have the mansion. She got plenty of money to be able to afford this, and she's also quite successful, but I would like to read the description for this family. Ian was never really lucky in the love department, but that all changed when he met Jillian. She was a brilliant musician, and even though she was his professor in college, he knew that he had to have her. While she may be nearly 20 years his senior, the two hoped to have a normal family life. So yeah, there's a little bit of drama with this family, but not too much. So here we are at the second Goth house. I have changed this house a little bit, but it remains very familiar from the original Hood. This is the house that Dina moved into when she had her children, or at least when they were older. She wanted to, you know, after Alexander was old enough and returned back from college, he got the mansion, and then she was able to get this own house. Dina is successful in her own right. She's still working. She's at the top of the law career, so she has made more than enough money. But obviously Mortimer helped. But we'll go ahead and see Dina. She is 82 days old right now. So here we have Dina actually holding her grandchild, Emery's. This is her first grandchild. Oh, look how sweet that is. She's actually a very good grandmother. But yeah, Dina here is still her fortunesome self. She did not get remarried after Mortimer. She had 3 children. And we'll go ahead and look at her family tree real quick. Obviously, Nina's here, but she has Gina, Ian, and Mortimer. Now, it's under the assumption that all 3 of these children are Mortimer's, but in fact, Gina is Don's. So that actually happened the very first day of the rotation, but it was early enough where Mortimer thought it was his child. And her Gina looks so much like Nina that he just assumed that he got all of Nina's traits. But yeah, so Dina still actually works. I just feel like she's just kind of riding on her vacation days. She has made plenty of money and is very successful and has this beautiful house that she has definitely designed to her taste. Still very goth-like, but Dina always has worn black, so I made sure to keep that through her life. Let's look at her. She still has the same personality as before. Super outgoing, but lazy and sloppy. Very playful, and she is overweight, to say the least. Go ahead. So she has a secondary family aspiration. So she did take her children very, very seriously. Made sure they got into the best schools. Made sure that, you know, they had all the help that they could get that she was kind of denied. So these are Dina's traits. She's childish, she's lucky, she loves to swim, she's a diva, and she's a bit of a snob. But yeah, I think she's earned it. She's not just a gold digger in this house, but we'll go ahead and see Ian, because he is the one that will eventually be the one living here after Dina here passes. So here is Mr. Ian Goth. He's just out here lounging by the pool on this nice fall day. For the most part, Ian has kind of lived his life on easy mode. He's definitely been a very popular guy. He was Mr. Big back in college, but he also kind of, you know, didn't really settle down up until his last year in college. That's actually when he decided to propose to Jillian here. Like I said, he is a popularity sim. He is a Libra. He's sloppy and lazy, but he's super outgoing, super nice, and very playful. He has a secondary aspiration of family. And his traits are lucky, flirty, good sense of humor, irresistible. And I think he has one more, yes, and he is nurturing. So those are all of his traits. Let's see, he is unemployed. So basically his wife is the breadwinner. So he's just been loving being a stay-at-home dad. They're obviously expecting their second child. For the most part, Ian, he was a player in college itself. But I do have the spontaneous engagement mod, or I think that's what it's called, or the random engagement mod. So basically he'll propose at random, and he ended up proposing to his teacher. So I figured I'd make a story with it. So I had to go and delete all of his previous relationships that he had. So they don't have great chemistry, but I guess that, you know, he was so drawn to her abilities. He's been into music for most of his life. Yeah, he's really into music and dance, so they're both into the piano. And I think that's actually where his wife is, so we'll go ahead and see Jillian. So here we have Jillian Goth. She is Ian's former professor at the university. She is quite a bit older than him. She is 17 days from becoming an elder, and he is 31 days away from becoming an elder. So there is a bit of an age gap between them, but that was fine. Looks like Jillian ended up having a family later in life, but she also does work in the music career, which she's level 9, a symphony conductor. She's been taking that seriously for most of her life. Go ahead and look at her personality. She is a Taurus, so she's super neat, a little bit more shy, kind of active, very, very playful, and in between grouchy and nice. This outfit is not one I chose for her. This is obviously her maternity wear. This is from a mod. But yeah, I think she's going to give birth soon. So she won't be in this for much longer. She has a much cuter outfit. She actually fits being a goth quite well. I don't believe she does not have a secondary. I have not been playing her long enough for that, but she does have traits. So she's eccentric, hopeless romantic, hot-headed, star quality, and a virtuoso. So yeah, her and Ian had definitely bonded over the piano. But other than that, I think Jillian is just more than happy to be able to actually be settled in life. Most of her time has been spent on her career, and she kind of thought that that was just going to be that for the rest of her life. But it turns out that when she met Ian, things were a lot more serious than it came off to be. But we're going to go ahead and see little Emery's here. So here is Emery's. He is obviously the oldest child between Jillian and Ian. I believe he's actually their... Yep, Dina's first grandson. So yeah, I think he's super cute. He reminds me of like a kind of an emo baby with the stripes and the hair. He does have dark eyes and a little bit darker skin. Let's see if I can... So yeah, he's super cute. He does actually turn into a child today. So today will actually be his birthday, or at least the first day of the round when we get to them. So I just wanted to go over his personality. He's not going to be a teenager for quite some time, but I figure we could look at this and see what eventually he will end up being in terms of his aspiration. So he is sloppy, shy, in between lazy and active, max playful, and kind of in between grouchy and nice. So he will probably end up being a family sim. So he'll be a family sim big brother. That'll be super cute. But yeah, he should be having another sibling here shortly. So I just wanted to give one last final look here at the second goth house. I have updated it so it can be a legacy house, but I also have like a pond and a really nice pool. So I am glad that this house will actually stay in this family for a little while longer. But yeah, we will go ahead and see Bella next. So here we are back at Pleasantview. We're going to go over here to the bachelor house. This is Bella's house. I decided to give her her old last name since Mortimer had ended up remarried and had passed away. So I think she wanted to drop the goth name and get back her own. And then this is her son, Michael, here. And I'll go ahead and read her description. Bella ended up back in Pleasantview almost the exact same she left. Only decades had gone by. Her husband had remarried and then died. Her children were grown and she was a grandmother. It was hard to adjust, but now that she has a new son, she sees this as a new chance to be a good mother. And we'll go ahead and go in here. So here we are at Bella's little cottage here. I don't think this totally fits her, but it was in the bin, and I think it's kind of cute that she ended up moving here. I think it fits Pleasantview kind of well, but we'll go ahead and see Bella. So here's Miss Bella Goth, or I'm sorry, Bella Bachelor in her red dress as always. She's still very much a romance sim. I had her go into the Slacker career, so she is almost at the top of that. She's a freelance web designer. She does start work tomorrow. She is a Cancer, so she's more neat. She's more on the shy side. She's she's in between lazy and active. She's more serious and she's pretty nice. Bella here did live with Alexander to help raise his younger children, but after she ended up getting pregnant, she decided to get her own house, and Alexander obviously helped her with that. Let's see. She has a secondary. She does not have a secondary yet. I haven't decided. Bella is kind of a true romance sim for me. I kind of see her as weird. She is a sim where literally everyone has 3 bolts with her. Everyone. There may be one sim that doesn't. But for the most part, everyone has 3 bolts. Yeah, it's like Dirk and this other guy that only have 1 or 2 bolts with her. So in my head, I have Bella being kind of special. She is a witch. I don't really have her doing much with that other than just like the title. I think when I kind of want to make it so Bella is actually immortal. So Michael will inherit this house, and I think I'll just move Bella into the Baba Yaga house that is in Belladonna Cove. And she will kind of have more of an NPC type of thing, so other Sims can woohoo with her and whatnot. She almost has 20 lovers, but yeah, I feel like since Bella got abducted, I always try to make her strange. Kind of her own thing, so once that happens, but I'll still play her for a couple more rounds. Let's see what else. In her personality, she is brave, she's a schmoozer, she's a light sleeper, she's irresistible, and she is flirty. Here's her book and her cauldron, but I don't think she's ever used it. So yeah, I'm gonna have Bella kind of be her own thing and not have to play her like an immortal. This isn't Strangetown Bella. This is Pleasantview Bella. I have the clean hoods, the clean template hoods. So this is the Bella that comes with Pleasantview. And I just really couldn't stand her just walking around anymore. So I decided to kind of do something with her so she could at least see her children again. But we'll go ahead and look at little Michael here. So here is Michael. He actually looks very much like his father, but I'll go ahead and bring up his family tree. He is the son of Romeo Almonte and Bella Bachelor. So yeah, this was just a fling. I think it was just like a random, like it just rolled this way. She ended up getting pregnant and I decided to keep it because I wanted to bring back the Bachelor name, and I feel like Bella would like to honor her brother who passed away. So we'll go ahead and see him. He's going to be a teenager this round, which I'm very excited for. He has a fairly good relationship with his father. He does know at least one of his half-siblings. They get along pretty well, or actually, they don't really know each other. So, but yeah, I think for the most part, yeah, he is a Pisces. He's more on the sloppy side. He's outgoing, active, more serious, and nice. So I could see him either being a popularity sim or a fortune sim, one of those two, or one will be his secondary. But yeah, he will inherit this house. This will be the Bachelor house, and I will have Bella become the creature that she was always meant to be. But I am pretty excited to still have her around. I love Bella. I was glad to have her back, but she's definitely going to be the one to outlive her kids here soon, which is sad. So one more look at this little house, the Bachelor house, before I end up going back into the neighborhood. Like I said, this will be Michael's house eventually. I don't know. I'm not attached to this house. It's worked for just the two of them for a little while, and I think it's cute. I'll probably still keep it around for some sim. It has a whole upstairs that has enough space that people could add more rooms and whatnot, but I just love this little cottage look. I think it fits Pleasantview very, very well. So I figure we go and kind of finish out the Goth Lothario families that I have currently staying in Pleasantview. This is Victoria here, and I will go ahead and read her description. Victoria has always related more to her dad than her mom, so it only made sense for her to move in with him as he aged. Now that he has passed, will Victoria continue to embrace her Lothario lineage, or will she see the Goth side of things? So we'll go ahead and see Victoria here. So here we are at, I guess now, Victoria's bachelorette pad. This was the place that I did move down into once he and Cassandra ended up getting divorced. I figured he just had like a midlife crisis and had to go back to his past life. I did download this house, but it does have all like the similar amenities that Don's original condo had. But now it's just owned by Victoria. I actually believe over here is, yeah, here is Don's grave. So he's still here technically. Okay, so here is Victoria again. So she's a quintessential romance sim. She's been like this since she was a teenager. She's definitely had quite a few flings with a bunch of sims. She was here when Don passed away, so he wasn't alone. And of course, Victoria ended up taking over his pad. I don't see her wanting kids, but there is enough room here if she does eventually want to have a kid. We'll just have to move some of this stuff. But she also might be someone where I don't see her wanting to be a mom, so maybe she'll give up the child for adoption, and maybe one of her siblings will take care of it. We'll have to see. I'm not really planning anything out with her. She's just going to be a romance sim. She's a Scorpio. She's actually neat. That's rare for Don's kids. She's outgoing, active, playful. She's just a little bit grouchy, and she has full fitness, so she's super strong. She's a vegetarian. She's hot-headed. She's a workaholic, a heavy sleeper, and a party animal. And then her secondary is fortune. So she's got money and love on the mind. So she'll be fun to play. I'll have to see if she gets around with some other romance sims. There's plenty in this neighborhood. I don't always have my romance sim live alone. I usually like to have them with other sims just to keep down the amount of households I have to do, but they're usually quick. It's kind of refreshing to have a one sim household. So, but she's going to be super fun to play. She's super gorgeous. I wouldn't be sad if she has a kid because, I mean, look at her. She got the green eyes, the dark hair, tan skin. She's gorgeous. So, yeah, one final look at the little condo here. This will work out perfectly, Victoria, with Victoria for her scandalous life. I'm sure she will really enjoy living alone. Oh, she's going to take a shower. So yeah, she'll be a fun little break to play from all these bigger families. Well, since we have completed the Goth Lothario families that I have in this neighborhood, I figured since we have already seen Dina, we might as well come over here to Miss Nina with her younger daughter here. So I'll go ahead and read the description. Nina always knew who she was and made no excuses for it. While it wasn't easy, she stayed true to who she was. While her children weren't exactly in her plan, she loves her daughters and hopes they choose whatever path they want and not just follow the status quo. So here we are at Nina's condo. I haven't changed it much. It's still the same as the base game, other than I did add a little bit over here to give it another bathroom. Because one bathroom in a house, no matter how big the family is just not possible with the routing. So we'll go ahead and meet Nina here, and this is her daughter Justine. So how fitting to find Nina up here in her red bedroom that she has used quite a bit in her life. So she's definitely been a romance sim through her whole life. I don't know. Let's see what her secondary is. And a secondary fortune sim. So she actually worked pretty hard at her career. She's a world-class ballet dancer. Probably going to have her retire. I was going to try and make her use up some vacation days, but she doesn't have too much time left. Justine's going to inherit this place, but I don't know if they're going to just keep it the same. She is actually a lesbian, so it'd be her and her girlfriend here, which is more than enough space for them. But yeah, Nina's had a very full life. She's definitely made it. I believe she's woohooed with 20 Sims or something like that. But yeah, she's been around. She's one of the originals. She's definitely had a couple of her flings pass away. She is a Scorpio, so she is still very neat. She's shy. She's active, more serious, and a little bit grouchy. And she has full fitness level. Nina's very funny to me. She's shy, but she's a romance sim. She's really strong and active and whatnot. She's into sports, so she's not like a girly girl. But she does like to be pretty. Not as much as her sister Dina, though. Let's see. What's your traits? So she has a photographer's eye. She's good. She loves the heat, She's irresistible and a good kisser. I guarantee she got this from a date. So yeah, she's just been dating all through her life. She does have 2 daughters. Well, I guess we'll expose their fathers that she's had. So this is Justine, which is the one that lives with her, and this is actually Carlos's contender's daughter. I think this happened on his last day of life, funny enough. So these are also his kids. So I don't think Justine ever met her father. And then Naomi is the oldest. She's actually Daniel's daughter. And she's currently married to her husband. They are in strange towns, so we'll see them at another time. But Nina has had good relationships with both of her children. I don't know if she knows her grandchild yet. But yeah, she's not going to be around for too much longer. But that'll be sad. I think that's the first time I've ever had Nina actually die in one of my playthroughs. That's how long this has been going on. So here is Justine. She definitely looks like Nina. She has the forehead, considering all hairs clip on her very slightly. But yeah, she just got back from college. She's definitely more of an athletic girl. She is a fortune sim. She is going to go into the athletic career. Yeah, she just came back from college. So she's not employed yet, but she does have a secondary. Oh no, she's a secondary romance. That's so funny. I don't have a lot of sims that are that are into girls, any girls that are into girls or lesbians that aren't already in a relationship. So that's going to be a little bit difficult, but she does have the hopeless romantic trait. So I think she's just going to be really into her girlfriend. So for her traits, she's good. She's absent-minded. She's a light sleeper. She's a hopeless romantic, and she's a little bit of a coward. So yeah, I think she's just going to focus on her career and her girlfriend, who is actually... Where is she? Over here. This is Hecate Nigmos. So yeah, by the last name you can already tell she's the daughter of Ophelia Nigmos. So she's still in Strange Town. I'll probably have her move in when we play Justine. They're actually a really fun couple. They're kind of alternative. But she's definitely a sporty girl. So we'll see them in a little bit. But that's all for this family. It's a pretty simple family. So one last look at the condo before we head out to the rest of Pleasantview. This is going to be a fairly simple house to play, but I don't mind that sometimes. It'll work for what it needs to be, but we'll see if we can add some spice into their lives a little bit later. So I think it makes sense to go over here to the Burb household. So it's only John and Jennifer over here, but I'll go ahead and read their description. John and Jennifer have been enjoying their elder years. Jennifer has finally reached the top of her career and has no plans on settling down. But with a new baby in the house, soon will she see life differently now that she no longer needs to prove herself. So yeah, they had a couple of their kids still living in here, but they recently moved out, which is the baby thing. But we'll go ahead and see John and Jennifer. They're going to have one of their children move in here after college. So here we are at the Burb house. I know a lot of people like to use this house for the Burbs. I think it looks really nice. I did add a pond in the back for John for his nature. But yeah, I haven't changed much of this house. It's worked for them pretty well. It can be a bit frustrating, but we'll go ahead and see John and Jennifer here. So here we have Jennifer just jamming out on the piano here. I'm going to have her stop so we can take a look at her. So I did actually have her retire, mostly because this is probably her last day, so I wanted to make sure that she got all of her vacation days. But she has lived a full life, her and John. They raised 4 children together, and I'm using that term specifically because if we go ahead and look into their family tree, you see that we have Knox here that is not connected to John. And John is unaware of this. So John thinks that they have 4 children together, but in reality they have 3. They're 3 daughters. Knox here is the child of Jennifer and Don, because Jennifer actually is a secondary romance sim. But for the most part, considering her age, she got away with it. She didn't really have too many flings, but she definitely got later in life. She just found John boring, I believe. You know, they had all these kids together. She really just wanted to feel something in life that wasn't just so predictable. She had already reached the top of her career at a young age, so we'll go ahead and check her traits out. So she's a workaholic, she's a savvy sculptor, she's absent-minded, dramatic, and artistic. So yeah, that's Jennifer. She is a secondary romance sim. She is platinum. She's gonna die happy, and she's gonna die knowing that John never caught her. The whole thing is they did have, like I said, they had some of their children living in here, and they have already 5 grandchildren with more on the way. But the one I was referring to was Eleanor's son here. She actually gave birth to him at this house. And John loved it. He loves being a grandfather. But we'll go ahead and see John. So here we're going to have John fishing at his ponds, enjoying his elder years. He did have a career. He was a prep cook, but he is retired. He retired once Eleanora had her son, so he was there to take care of the children. He definitely was more focused on the children than his job, unlike Jennifer. He thinks that he won the lottery in life. He had a beautiful wife, beautiful children. He has no idea what happened with Jennifer, and he's probably never going to know. But that's okay. For the most part, he's a popularity sim, so he made a lot of friends along the way. He's a heavy sleeper, over-emotional, easily impressed, lucky, and an angler. So yeah, John's had a great life in his mind, and soon their son Knox will finish college, and he will live in this house. I don't know when I'm gonna bring him in. I kind of want to see him here before Jennifer ends up paddling. Oh, look what he caught! Yeah, he's actually a really good fisherman. That's what he's been spending all of his time on. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead, and this family will probably change quite a bit. So yeah, this family's going to change a little bit once Knox moves in. Like I said, John believes that Knox is his son and his heir and will carry on the Burb name, which he will. He has no idea that it's actually Don's kid. So a final look here at the Burb household. I'm sure this will change quite a bit when Knox moves back. I think he'll have a different style, but we will have to see. Since we saw John and Jennifer, I figure we go and pop over here. This is actually their daughter, Julia, who doesn't have hair right now, but they just moved out, so I figure we go and stop and see them pretty quickly. I'll go ahead and read their bio. Newly married and expecting, Julia and Max are ready to meet their little one. It's a pretty simple intro. This is Max Flexer. He's from one of the college towns. I don't remember which, but yeah, they're just starting their life, so we'll see them. So here we have, this is the Flexer house. This is Julia. She was Julia Burb. Now she's Julia Flexer. They just moved out of staying with John and Jennifer. She is a popularity sim. I think she got to the top of the business tycoon career. I feel like very early. I feel like Jennifer pulled some strings to make sure that her daughter could get up the corporate ladder as fast as possible. So yeah, she didn't really have any love interest growing up, and then she went to college and she met Max here. He's just one of the Sims from one of the college towns. I don't remember which one. But yeah, they ended up having good enough chemistry that they got together. I think they popped the question to one another really quickly. She was a big woman on campus. We'll go ahead and see her. She is a secondary fortune sim. So yeah, she likes people to know who she is, and she likes money to help with that, I guess. And then we have her trait. She's irresistible, a slob, a genius, hot-headed, and a vegetarian. So yeah, I just moved them into this house. It's pretty empty for the most part. There is some basic furniture that came with the house, but I felt like this was a good house. So if they wanted to make it a legacy house with kids, they have plenty of rooms and a garage. So we'll get a quick look at them right now. She is very pregnant. She has this cute little outfit on. But yeah, Max just recently got into the rotation. I don't think he's very fleshed out. He is a popularity sim, so they both definitely like, having parties and making sure they're the center of attention. So he's very sloppy. He's a little bit more outgoing than shy, and he's pretty active. He's fully fit once again. These sims really like to work out. He is a gym trainer, so he's a little bit of a, he's more brawn than brains, but I think that's okay for Julia. I think she likes that about him. I don't know if I have given him a secondary yet. Oh, wait. Yeah, I have not given him a secondary. He hasn't really been around that long for me to flesh him out, but he is rebellious, hot-headed, heavy sleeper, a coward, and a social butterfly. So yeah, this is just a new little family. This will be fun to kind of furnish their house once we have more money. They do have a loan that they got to pay off this house, but considering that she's high enough in a career, I think it'll be easy enough to pay it off. But yeah, it's a cute little house. I can't wait to play with it and grow their family. So in terms of original families, we don't have too many left, but I figure we go over here to the Pleasant house. There's obviously not a familiar face here, but this is Phoebe Pleasant, and we'll go ahead and read her description. Phoebe grew up in a loud household with lots of drama, but with her parents gone, things seem so quiet, even with her baby boy. Will she keep the peace with her little family, or will the drama follow her home? So this is a pretty generic house. Phoebe is a romance sim, so it's kind of that typical romance sim gameplay, but she did recently have a child, so we'll get to see him. So here is the pleasant but not pleasant house. I did have to replace the original pleasant house, which is fine because I kind of hate that house. But I did get a new version. I don't remember who did it. I can look it up if somebody's interested. But right now, it's actually belongs to Phoebe Pleasant. So we'll go ahead and see her. So this is Phoebe Pleasant. She is actually the daughter of Mary Sue and Daniel. They kind of got back together and had 2 more kids, but Mary Sue caught Daniel cheating a whole bunch of other times, and she decided to just open the marriage up because she was getting far in her career, and she didn't want to ruin it by having to go through a divorce. So her and Daniel ended up having an open marriage and kind of working it out. Mary Sue ended up falling for a much younger man, but this is their daughter Phoebe. This is their 3rd child together. Yes, and honestly, she is one of my favorite Daniel and Mary Sue children. She's so pretty. My general, like, kind of the vibe I wanted to give her was almost like Poison Ivy. She's really into plants. She's actually she is in the natural scientist career, so I feel like she would make potions and stuff like that, like romance potions, but we'll see. It's not like she needs the help, but she is a romance sim, so for the most part, she does live by herself other than her son. I'll see, who is his father again? So his father is Orion Loner, which is the son of Lola Loner. This is their child. I don't think he is also a romance sim. I don't think he's going to be moving in here. But for the most part, Phoebe has just been focusing on her career and her relationships. Obviously, little Andy here has kind of thrown a wrench into her whole plan, but that's okay. I'm sure he's going to be super, super cute. So yeah, she is in the natural scientist career. She is an unnatural crossbreeder at level 8. I believe her secondary aspiration is knowledge, indeed. So she's always been really, really smart. So she's got the brains and the beauty. And her traits that I have given her is lucky, loves the cold, gatherer, social butterfly, and flirty. So yeah, she inherited the Pleasant house. I'm sure she enjoys it, being a romance sim. She didn't have to worry about raising enough money, but she does have a younger brother. I don't think he's gonna move in here. She definitely has plenty of room. I haven't changed much of this house, but I want her to go pick up Andy real quick. So here is little Andy. He is just a baby. This last round was the biggest baby boom I had ever had in all of my rounds. So he's just been born, so we'll get to see him age up. Looks like he has black hair and green eyes. I'm sure he's going to be super cute. So yeah, one final look at the new Pleasant household. I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, this house should be fairly easy to play. Even though Phoebe is a single parent, I think she's going to be able to progress in her career and become the, whatever the 10th is, where you only, the 10th level, where it's like the hand of nature, where she only works 1 day. So it should be fairly easy. It's an easy job to have, but this house should still be fun. I love Phoebe. She's so gorgeous. But we're actually going to go see Angela, who still lives in this neighborhood, but she lives by a different name, and I don't think she wanted to inherit this house. I feel like she has lots of bad memories in the Pleasant house, so I think she just wanted to start her own life and kind of, live away from all the drama, even though she has made plenty of drama on her own. So over here we have the Cap house. Now these are the only Caps in the Pleasantview neighborhood, and there is a reason for it. But here's Angela and Hal Cap, and we'll go ahead and read their description. While things between Hal and Angela haven't always been great, they have always managed with the kids. But with this most recent surprise, things seem to be stranger than ever. So yeah, Hal has a little bit of thing going on, but we'll go ahead and see him and Angela and their 2 children. So here is the Cap house. This is Angela, formerly Pleasant Cap's house. I'm not a big fan of this house, but I've never really liked this family enough to kind of give them a much nicer house. I just downloaded this, and I believe somebody else in a different neighborhood has the same exact house, but it works for now. So we'll go ahead and see Angela here. So here we have Angela just enjoying some morning espresso here. She very much looks like her. I just wanted to make sure that she had kind of a more adult look to her, because she is actually older than Hal. She is 7 days away from being an elder, and Hal here is 11 days from being an elder. So for the most part, Angela has been kind of had a dramatic start to her life. It's calmed down much later in life. We'll go ahead. She is still obviously a popularity sim. But the issue arises from the fact that she is actually a secondary romance sim. And this happened in college. She had quite a few flings in college. She was actually still dating Dustin for a long time. But unfortunately, he caught her cheating, I believe, with... Dustin caught her cheating with Justin Cleveland. So they ended up breaking up. But unfortunately... I didn't clear off Angela's love for Dustin. Even though he had lost all of his attraction, he was furious with her after he caught her cheating, and he hated her. But he is actually married to Hal's sister, Desdemona. So Angela decided to just go up at one of the Hal's family event and just cheat in front of everyone with Dustin. So it got her in trouble, it got Dustin in trouble, and that's why I kind of had them move out to Pleasantview, because Hal's family does not like her. And they have never seen her the same. Dustin's a little bit different, just because I feel like it was my fault for not clearing that off. I don't think he would have done anything with Angela. He's been very loyal to his wife. But Angela hasn't had too many flings since. She's actually calmed down quite a bit in age. She's been with Romeo a little bit. I feel like that was even from college. But yeah, they've been basically just trying to raise their kids together. But obviously Hal had a little something else planned unintentionally. So she is a secondary romance. Her traits are she's hot-headed, good sense of humor, equestrian, bookworm, and a natural cook. And then she is level 9 in the culinary career. I don't know if she's going to try and get to level 10. I guess we will have to see. So far, she doesn't have any interest, and she is getting on up there in age, so maybe she won't. But we're going to go over to Hal here. So here we have Hal Cap just trying to relax. He is a little bit farther into his pregnancy. This was another random abduction pregnancy that happened while he was out stargazing one night. So Hal here is a popularity sim. Him and Angela got along quite well. They met in college, so they had a lot of parties together. So he is an Aries. He's a little bit more sloppy than neat. He's very outgoing, in between lazy and active, more serious, and in between grouchy and nice. He did make it to the top of the mayor career. Him and Angela's mother, Mary Sue, got along quite well when she was in the politics career, so I'm sure she networked on behalf of him. He is a secondary fortune sim, so he did want to make it up the career ladder. And for his traits, he's inappropriate, he's charismatic, he's a social butterfly, a vegetarian, and loves the cold. So yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a surprise. I didn't think Sims could get pregnant this late, but I don't think my fertility mod actually works when it comes to alien abductions. But it's fun. I think this might cause a little conflict between him and Angela, but for the most part, Angela owes Hal one. She was forgiven by him when she probably shouldn't have, so she's gonna have to help out here with him because he has no idea what he's doing in terms of giving birth to a child. So here is Tessa Cap. She looks just like Angela. She's very cute. She is a little bit of a nerd. She is a knowledge sim, so she's been kind of focusing on getting ready for college. She's not going to go this round. She'll end up going next round. She does have... Do you have a boyfriend? Not really. He's a romance sim. So she hasn't really found anyone that she's truly interested in. She is in private school, though. She is an A+ student, so she's worked very hard to get good grades and eventually go to college. I don't know what her secondary is going to be. Probably family. And I did give her some traits. She's hot-headed, loves the cold, and she's a little bit clumsy, so that kind of works into that nerdy type of that nerdy personality. I do think, do you have any friends? She's a couple friends. All boys. Go figure. No girlfriends. But yeah, she's going to be fun to play in college, that's for sure. She's going to have, I think, quite a few Sims go with her, so, but she's definitely going. And here we have little Samuel Cap right here. Angela ended up having him much later in life, so yeah, he still has 5 days before becoming a teenager. So, geez, turn off that. So yeah, Samuel's super cute here. He's just watching a movie, so he's still... I wonder if I know what one he's going to be. He might be a popularity sim or a romance sim. I guess I'll have to see how many I have of each. And I believe... Do you have a couple friends? No, you don't. But he does... He is actually... I'll probably have him and Imogen be friends. This is actually Dustin's daughter. But yeah, he's just going to be a kid for a little bit longer. We'll try and get a couple of his relationships with his cousins up, so that way he can kind of get close to somebody. But yeah, that's them. I'll probably put him in private school too. But yeah, he's super cute. So I can't wait to see him grow up. So yeah, that's the end of this Cap household. The only Caps in the Pleasantview neighborhood. But yeah, they moved for more specific reasons. This house is pretty boring, but I think that once we have Hal give birth, it should be pretty interesting to play. Okay, so I think the next house I'm going to go to is the Dreamer household, even though you don't know anyone in the Dreamer household. This is Samantha. She's actually not in this household anymore. I had her move in with her daughter to help raise her twins, because it's going to be a lot. But this is Desmond here, and he is the son of Samantha and Darren Dreamer. So I'll go ahead and read the description. Desmond is ready to make a name for himself. While he is ready to start his career, Caden has been searching for something more. So we'll go ahead and meet these two. So here is the Dreamer house. I really haven't changed it much. For the most part, you know, it's not the cutest house, but I care more about routing than I do about, like, the aesthetic look of the house. But yeah, we have Caden Cap here and Desmond Dreamer. So we'll go ahead and meet them. Darren has been gone for quite some time now. Is this his? Or who is this? So here we have Desmond Dreamer. He is, I believe, let's see, they had a bunch of kids. So what one are you? You're number 3. He is the 3rd child of Samantha Dreamer and Darren Dreamer. They had plenty of kids. I love Samantha Cordial's her genetics, especially her eyes. So I wanted to give her a bunch of kids. And so here is Desmond. He is here with his husband, obviously from the Cap family. They have inherited the house. Samantha was living here for quite some time, but like I said, she is now helping her daughter with her twins. He is a fortune sim, so I don't know if he's going to want to stay in this house, but I guess we will find out. He doesn't have a job yet. I believe I was going to give him I was going to have him choose a type of business to run. I believe that's what the plan was with him. Because he did go to college, but he hasn't really rolled any career. He is a Gemini. He's halfway between sloppy and neat. He's outgoing, active, and playful, and a little bit grouchy. And then do I have a secondary? Yes, I do have a secondary for them. So he is a secondary family sim. So I think he does want to like settle down a bit with Caden. Caden's a little bit older, so I think he's, you know, excited to be able to raise a child. I don't know if they're gonna adopt, or maybe they'll see if one of their siblings. I don't know. Sometimes I allow my romance sims just to give their kids away to their siblings, especially if you have a situation like this. But we'll see. I do like adopting kids, and we haven't done it in a minute. And do I have traits for you? Yes, so he is a loser. He's excitable, unstable, hot-headed, and eccentric. So he's an interesting one. What's your hobby? Sports. Oh, okay. We'll see. Maybe I'll open up a sports bar for him. We'll have to see. So here we have Desmond's husband, Caden Cap. He's obviously of the Cap family, but we'll see. It's a little bit more complicated. So yeah, he is the son of Aaron Cap, formerly Aaron Singles, and consort Cap. I have no explanation for this other than ACR. That's really it. I have no other explanation. So, but he is a family sim, so he does want to have a family of his own. Him and Desmond have been together for a while. He is in the adventurer career, so he's a dread pirate. I don't know. He does want to get promoted, so he is focused on his career for the most part. He's an Aquarius, so he's a little sloppy, a little shy, a little bit more active. He's playful, and he's kind of nice, and he's fully fit. And then, do I have a secondary for you? So secondary is fortune, so I guess I'll give you that. But yeah, so he does like his career, but he definitely mainly wants a family. And for his stats, he's unlucky, vegetarian, slob, great kisser, and he has a good sense of humor. So this will be interesting to see what happens for them. I think I do want to give him a kid, or else this place gets a little bit boring. But we'll just have to see where they decide to adopt, or if I do another alien thing. But I've had a bunch of those, so we'll see. So yeah, that is what is left of the Dreamer family. So I don't know if Dustin, because they both have fortune aspirations to some degree, so I don't know if they'll stay in this house forever. I can see them wanting like a nicer house, but I do like to keep this house in rotation with someone, so we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that's them. We'll probably go see some of their family shortly. So I'm over here towards the small trailer park in Pleasantview, and we're going to go over here to Kaylin. Kaylin is the last, like, family in this neighborhood that has any direct connection to Pleasantview. So yeah, this is Kaylin, and this is her husband. And we'll go ahead and read the description. After having no luck finding a man, Kaylin decided to try another route. After looking around, she found herself drawn to Martin, and even though he was light years more mature than the men that she was used to. Now that she has finally started her family, will the age difference affect how they raise their kids? So yeah, we'll go ahead and meet Kaylin and Martin here. Okay, so here we are at Kaylin's house over here. This house is a bit of a mess, but I kind of wanted it to be. I don't have many Sims that I would say like are struggling, so this is definitely one of the houses where that is an exception. So we'll go ahead and see Kaylin. So here we have Kaylin trying to clean away her problems. Oh geez, all of the kids. That's hopeless, Kaylin. I need you to stop. I want to take a look at you. So yeah, here is Kaylin. I love the way Kaylin looks. I know she just looks like Cassandra, but I always have a soft spot for Kaylin. I always want her to be happy. So I always end up adding her to my rotation. So yeah, here's Kaylin. She did get married. This is Martin Rubin. He, I believe, is from Sim State University. So yeah, Kaylin she's still a family sim. She managed to have at least a bigger family. She is 8 days away from being an elder, so I doubt you're going to be having any more kids, girl. She does have a career, but she is a internet movie critic. She doesn't make a lot of money. She's mainly been focusing on taking care and raising the kids. She's been spending all of her vacation days. We'll see. She has a secondary. She doesn't have a secondary yet, so she's just been straight family, but I think I'm going to do her as a secondary knowledge eventually. She's over-emotional, nurturing, shy, handy, and neat. which fits her perfectly. So yeah, she basically was just focused on trying to get a man and start a family. She ended up doing that with Martin here, and Martin is much younger. He is 25 days from being an elder. So there's definitely a difference between the two. So yeah, here's Martin here. He is definitely much younger than Kaylin. He's from the Sim State University neighborhood. He has a brother that actually is in the rotation, which is why I wanted to get him into the rotation so that way he didn't age weirdly with his brother. Him and Kaylin, they're not actually married. So there's a little bit of drama there. I know Kaylin wants to get married. She has a gold anniversary as her lifetime aspiration, so we'll have to see. They have been together for quite a while, but he does have commitment issues. So he is a specialist. He's been working his butt off trying to get these kids paid. They don't have a lot of money necessarily. He doesn't have a secondary aspiration yet. I'll have to work on that. I just haven't been playing him long enough for him to have as many points as you need. And so yeah, commitment issues, good, night owl, loves the cold, and a vehicle enthusiast. So he has his vehicle that he actually restored outside. But we're gonna go check out their kids now. So here we have two of their kids. This is Fallon and Remy Langrak. Fallon is actually 1 day away, or she actually becomes a teenager today, so she will be a teenager soon. Kaylin and Martin had their kids very close together, so that way Kaylin could get a couple kids in before she was too old, and then she's a public school student, but she's doing really good. Don't know what she's gonna be. Oh, she might be either a fortune or a family sim. We'll have to see. Maybe fortune, because she probably hates how small the house is and wants to get out of this trailer. But I guess we'll see. She's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see her. All the kids look like Martin, which I don't know how that's gonna translate. Because here's little Remy here. She's a twin with her brother Quentin. And yeah, I don't think they've been to school yet. So yeah, they just became kids this past weekend. It's Monday today, so this will be their first day of school. So yeah, she's a public student. I don't think they're gonna go and be able to get into private school at this house, but she is a Capricorn, so she is neat. She's shy, very lazy, very playful, and very nice. So should be a good knowledge sim, that's for sure. And then we'll go ahead and see Quentin. So here we have little Quentin, of course, looking like Martin as always, but I guess he does have... You have curly hair? No, you don't. He still looks like Martin. I hope these kids end up cute, because I love the way Kaylin looks. But yeah, he is a Cancer, so he's neat, he's shy, he's pretty active, in between serious and playful, and he's pretty nice. So he is technically the older twin of him and Remy. So yeah, today he will start his first day of school. So they're not very fleshed out. I don't have any traits for them yet, but I will once they become teenagers. So we will see this family shortly, and this one's a fun one. So I can't wait to play this one and kind of see what happens with Kaylin and Martin, if they get married or not. I think that would break her heart. So yeah, one last look at the double wide here. The large trailer with the super nice car. I feel like that's a funny combo. Well, since we are out of the families that have a direct connection to Pleasantview, I feel like now is the time to go on to the families that I moved into Pleasantview because I felt like they fit in with the suburban lifestyle more. So we're going to go over here to the Patel family. And they are from Belladonna Cove originally, but I'll go ahead and go over their bio here. It seemed like just yesterday, Ramir and Anna welcomed their first, and now their oldest is about to leave the nest. He already has. How will the Patels deal with being empty nesters, and will Badri make their family a legacy? Badri is their oldest son. He is also in this neighborhood, and we will see him in a little bit. So here we are at the Patel family house. I'm not really a big fan of this house, but it ended up working well for what I needed it with this family. I'm thinking eventually I'm going to have one of their grandchildren move in, so that way they have a place to stay. But I was never really sold on this house. But anyway, we'll go ahead and see Ramir and Anna here. So here are Ramir and Anna. They have definitely spent basically their entire lives getting far in their careers and raising their 3 children. I'll go ahead and show their family tree here. So they have their oldest, Badri, here, who still lives in the neighborhood. There's John, and there is Vanya. And we'll see them. They are in other neighborhoods at this point. So this is the same exact Ramir and Anna from Belladonna Cove. I just moved them into Pleasantview because I felt like they particularly wanted that kind of white picket fence feel. So Ramir here is a popularity sim. He did get to the top level in the politics career, so he became the mayor. He does have some traits, but I don't believe I gave him a secondary. I did not give him a secondary. He just didn't seem like he needed one to me. He felt like he was, you know, pretty set in his ways, but here are his traits that I had given him. He loves the heat. He's a gatherer. He's unstable, so he was an unstable mayor. He's brave, and he's a workaholic. So yeah, just him and Anna have done what they could to try and raise good kids. Unfortunately, they do have issues with Badri. He unfortunately left his longtime partner at the altar. And this has resulted to kind of the family fracturing, considering he has a child with her. So, but we'll see him in a little bit. And over here we have Anna, in love with her husband as always. She's definitely a family sim. I do believe I gave her a second. Yeah, she's a secondary knowledge sim. So, but she got pretty far in her career too. She didn't quite make it to level 10 in the culinary career, but she was pretty happy at level 9. She made good money, even though that really wasn't her main focus in her life. She is a Taurus, so yeah, she's neat. Or I guess she's in the middle of sloppy and neat. She's shy, active, serious, and nice. Do they have the same? Yeah, they have the same personality. I always forget that about these two, but I believe they have they have pretty good chemistry. So yeah, for Anya's traits here, she also loves the heat. She's shy, she's lucky, she's a bit of a loner, and she's hydrophobic. So yeah, that's them. They're pretty boring. They're just kind of at the tail end of their lives, enjoying their empty house. Like I said, I'm probably going to try and see if one of the grandkids can move in here before too long, because they don't have much time left. But we'll go ahead and see Badri here. So one final look at the Patel house here before we go and check out their oldest. So basically, kitty corner to the Patel's house is Badri's little condo over here. He's quite notorious in the neighborhood, but we'll go ahead and bring up his bio real quick. After leaving his former fiancée at the altar and disgracing his family, Badri is lucky that his family hasn't fully disowned him. While he knows it was ultimately for the best, can the rest of the town see that too? So we'll go ahead and see him. And now we are at Badri's little condo over here, basically having all the attributes of a single bachelor condo. And naturally, here's Badri just chilling in the hot tub like he does first thing in the morning every single time. I'd like to see you. So yeah, he is a romance sim through and through. He's been like this his entire life, essentially. Ever since he was a teenager, he's always had lots of lady friends. Let's go ahead and change you into your casual. Here he is. So yeah, he is a romance sim, and he is a Hall of Famer. So he's made it to the top of the athletic career. So he's just kind of a highly sought after male. And he definitely has, I wonder, did he reach 20? Maybe not. But yeah, he has plenty of woohoos under his belt. So he's lived quite a happy life over here, including with the head vampire. So yeah, other than a Hall of Famer, I do believe he has a secondary. Yes, he has a secondary fortune. So he's very much centered around money and women, to put it simply. And then these are his traits. He's brave. He's a vegetarian. He's a workaholic. He's eccentric. And he's ambitious. So yeah, he does have a couple kids, though, that I do want to go over. We do have Zahir here, who is Juno's child, which is his ex-fiancée, which he left at the altar. This is Hassan over here. He is the daughter of Kali. She is a Baldwin. They have always had a thing for each other. He has been with her basically as long as he's been with Juno. And then over here is Glinda, who is the child of Thea Lost, which she's in Strange Town, so we won't see her for a minute. But yeah, he does have 3 kids. I do make him pay child support, but I make it something I do manually just because I feel like since he does make a lot of money, it only makes sense that he has to give it out to all of his baby mamas as much as possible. But yeah, that's Baudry. He prefers it this way. He doesn't have a good, I think, where is it again? You can check. Yes, he has. He definitely fixed his reputation. He's supposed to have a bad reputation ever since he left Juno at the altar. Everyone's had a bad kind of perception of him, and she's part of the Curious family, and they're huge, so everybody had beef with him because it happened at a party. But as of now, he's kind of, enough time has gone by, so not as many people remember. But yeah, that's Baudry. So yeah, we will be seeing more of Baudry's little shenanigans when we get to him eventually. He's just another romance sim, but I feel like he's at another level with some of these. But yeah, we will be here soon enough. So another family that I actually moved in from Belladonna Cove here into Pleasantview is the Riley family, or at least was the Riley family. So this was Vivian Cho and Timothy Riley. This was their combination, the combination of families from Belladonna Cove that are supposed to get married. This is their daughter here, but I will still go over the description that I have over this house. The Rileys are a successfully blended family, but will these different personalities make it work for the betterment of the younger kids? So yeah, that's a fairly dated description. But however, Timothy and Vivian just passed away, I believe, last round. So it was actually the previous day, and this is their daughter that is left at this house. So here is the Riley family home. Currently, the only one living here is their daughter, Lucia Riley. This house actually at one point had all of them in here, but they've all grown up. They all have their own families. And like I said, Vivian and Timothy recently passed away. I think their graves are still here. Maybe not. But we'll go ahead and meet Lucia here. So here is Lucia Riley. She is one of the children between Vivian and Timothy. They do have one other child together other than there's Etsu and Sally. But Lucia here, I believe, she's a perfect mix between her parents. I think she's so pretty. She is a family sim. She is engaged to her fiance here. This is her longtime boyfriend. His name is Corey Cap. He is the heir or possible heir to the Cap family. So it's kind of a big deal. So I'm thinking of having Lucia move out into his house because she wants to marry a rich sim. Interesting for a family sim, but yeah, she wants to marry a rich sim, and the only way to do that is to move into their house. But yeah, she is a family sim. She's always been kind of snooty. She's really into music. Currently, she's a teacher's aide. She did recently come back from graduation. She's a Leo, so she's a little bit sloppy, very outgoing, a little lazy, a little more playful than serious, and kind of grouchy, and she's almost full fitness. So she has a secondary fortune aspiration. And her traits are grumpy, flirty, perceptive, she's a snob, and she's a virtuoso. So yeah, I'm just expecting her to want to have a bunch of kids with her boyfriend. I don't remember what his aspiration is, but she definitely kind of wants a piece of that Cap mansion and that Cap notoriety. And honestly, I want her to have so many kids. Look how cute she is. I love this haircut on her. Gosh, okay. But I don't think she'll be in this house for too much longer, so even though she's part of Pleasantview now, that's probably going to change when we play her. So one final look here at the Riley family house before we move on. This is a very blue house. I swear everybody in this house loved the color blue. This is also a house that I downloaded. If there are any houses that you want information on, you can go ahead and just leave a comment. I will look it up for you if that's something that you want. So we're going to go over here to the Gear House. This is actually where Samantha actually moved to. This is her daughter over here, and they just had twins. So I want to go ahead and I wanted her to help out with the twins at this house. But I'll go ahead and read their description. Danielle has wanted Leo ever since she saw him. And while she destroyed a relationship to get him, it was all worth it in the end. Let's go into this household. So here we are at the Gear House. This is a relatively small house. I even expanded it just recently, and I know I'm going to have to expand it again, considering they have twins and they already want another child. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a bigger family. So here we have Samantha Dreamer. She just moved in because they just had twins, and I wanted some extra hands around the house because both Leo and Danielle need to work. They don't have a lot of money. This house is very small. There's basically no room for like a play area. I'm probably going to have to, take over this garage and use it for living space. But yeah, this is Samantha. She is still a good witch, and she's actually reached the top. You can see she has the gold glitter face paint on. She's definitely had a full life. She's had 4 kids here with Darren. He's been gone for quite some time, so she's just been trying to preoccupy herself with all of her children and her grandchildren as best as she can. She did get to the top level of the medicine career, so she became the chief of staff, but she has retired. She is a Aries, so she's halfway between sloppy neat, kind of shy, a little bit more active, playful, and pretty nice. She does have a secondary. She has a secondary family. And then for her trait, she's a hopeless romantic, a photographer's eye, loves the heat, charismatic, and she is perceptive. And of course, she has all of her ingredients that she's made. And then we'll go ahead and see Leo and Danielle. So here we have Leo and Danielle here with their twins, Davis and Gabriella. So yeah, Leo here, he is a family sim. He didn't end up going to college. I want to go ahead and look at his family tree real quick. He is the child of Chastity Monty and Gabriel Green. Obviously, Chastity, she got married much later in life. I believe she got pregnant by Gabriel literally first day in game. So it was pretty crazy, and it was twins. And then both Leo and his sister over here, Madison, had twins. This baby boom that happened this last round was absolutely insane. So yeah, for the most part, Leo here is just trying to have a big family. He already wants another child. He did actually do well in his career. He wasn't supposed to get up this high in his career since he hadn't been to college, but he got really lucky on some chance cards, and you know what? They need the money, so I'm not mad at that at all. He is a Capricorn. He's super neat, super shy, little lazy, max playful, and max nice, and he's almost fat. Do you have a secondary? He's a secondary knowledge sim, so I guess that's what allowed him to kind of get farther in life. And when it comes to his traits, he's a light sleeper, artistic, kleptomaniac, and eccentric, as well as brooding. And then Danielle over here holding little Davis. She is a knowledge sim. I believe she has a secondary family. Yeah, she has a secondary family. So they both are interested in having a large family. She is in the medicine career. She is a surgeon, and she's actually about to get promoted, which they desperately need some money, which is why Danielle's mother moved in. Let's go ahead and look at her traits. So she's flirty, loves the cold, excitable, a daredevil, and an angler. So for the most part, this family hasn't had a lot of drama. The drama happened when they got together back as teenagers. Leo was dating somebody at the time, and Danielle really did not care and just flirted with him right in front of her. This happened when they were teenagers. They have 3 bolts. Generally, if I see Sims have 3 bolts together, I say that's who they are supposed to be with. Obviously, romance sims are a little bit different, but yeah, the person that he was with was, I believe her name is Natasha, but she was a little bitter about it, but she ended up marrying Danielle's older brother. So it all worked out. Everybody's happy in the end. They just have a little bit more chaotic of a life now with their twins. But yeah, that's this family. We're just going to be worrying about raising their kids up and enjoying Samantha while she is here. So that's it with this family. We only have one more family left, and that's actually Leo's sister, Madison, and we're going to go and see her. So finally, the last family in this neighborhood is over here. This is Madison Gear and her mother, Chastity, that has moved in to help her with her set of twins. It's under the name Cordial because her boyfriend and her used to live together, and then he moved out, but I haven't changed the name. But I will at some point. So this is her little description that I have put in. Madison is kind of a lone wolf. That was until she had twins. Her mother has moved in to help care for the twins, but will that be enough, and can Madison maintain some sort of identity? So it's a little bit generic, but I feel like as of now there's only so many ways this family could go. But we'll go ahead and refresh ourselves on Chastity here and meet her daughter. So here we have Chastity and Madison here holding the two twin daughters. This is Paige Gear, and this is Piper Gear. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show the family tree now. So these are the children of Isaiah Gavigan. Isaiah has a bunch of kids. He kind of went through a phase after him and his wife divorced. He was trying to date, just trying to find someone to have a partner. He wanted, a big family. He actually adopted little Willow here, but he wanted to kind of expand his family, and he did. But unfortunately for him, Madison does not want to get married. She has commitment issues. So she's never been inclined to want to marry anyone, so that kind of broke his heart, and he's a little bitter. But we'll find him later. His story is a mess. But we're going to go over here to Chastity, who is getting close to the end of her life. She did have Madison here and Leo right away. She got pregnant literally first day in game with Gabriel Green, who has the worst genetics in all of Sims 2 history. But later in life, she ended up marrying, what's his name? Antonio Monti. This was a random proposal, but I felt like Chastity wanted to kind of settle down, and she did have another child with Antonio, so she wanted to finally settle down. So even though she is a romance sim, for the most part, she actually was pretty loyal to Antonio up until his demise, which was really not that long ago. So for the most part, she's still a Virgo. She's fairly neat, kind of shy, a little active, a little more serious, and kind of nice. She made it to the top of the business career. I'm actually probably going to have her, I'll let her write out her vacation day. She has a whole bunch. Her secondary aspiration is knowledge, and she is an avant-garde, a heavy sleeper, a loser, hot-headed, and artistic. And then we're going to go over here to Madison, and I would just like everybody to know I gave Madison plastic surgery. Her and her brother needed some help. I hope I made it permanent so she doesn't look too weird. But like I said, Gabriel Green's nose is just the worst nose in all of history. But we'll go ahead and look at her. She is a fortune sim. I think she's a secondary family. So even though she is a family sim, she really has not wanted to get married. She just kind of wants to have her random flings with certain guys. So that's just her life. She's at the top of her career. She's doing great for most of it. But she's definitely going to need help once her mother passes away. And this is Piper. Looks like she has brown hair and green eyes. And then Paige here has a darker skin tone. So I think she's skin 3. But she has brown hair and blue eyes. So these are going to be a super cute pair of twins. I love giving them like matching names like that. But yeah, this is part of the biggest baby boom in all of history. This is the baby boom generation. I don't think I'm ever going to have another generation have as many babies as this one did. And I hope not, because it was way too much. So yeah, that is our final family. I'm going to go ahead and go to the neighborhood again. So that is it, my friends. That is the end of the Pleasantview part of my Stupidhood. Now, the other neighborhoods that I'm going to be doing, which I believe I'm going to do Veronaville next. I believe Veronaville is actually the biggest neighborhood. So hopefully it'll be quicker, but I doubt it. After that, I'll do Strangetown and then Belladonna Cove, and then I'll do a combo of the downtown families that I have, as well as the college students. There's only a few. So, but that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy seeing the progress of everyone's, stories and how it compares to others, and want to know if you guys have ever gotten this far into one of the playable towns, let alone a mega hood or whatever else they're called. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Look out for the next one.